Studios. We welcome Zach Taylor, the general manager, Taylor Power Systems. Pardon me, Zach. Who you got with you today?
Richard Steinwinder and Mr. Kevin Reddy.
I got you. And Richard, you are the service manager, right, for Taylor
Correct.
Power?
Yes.
All right. So it's hurricane season in Mississippi. It comes around
June
every year.
1st and November 30th.
Right. And a lot of times these storms move through and we lose power.
Yes, sir.
At our homes, our businesses, but you got a solution for that, right?
Yes, sir. So the NOAA is forecasting around 12 to 19 named storms this season, and 5 to 7 of those can potentially become hurricanes. So it's inevitable we're going to lose a lot of power on the coastline, areas here in the next few months. So we offer several different products. So I'm the GM of Taylor Power Systems. We design, engineer, and manufacture standby and prime power generators in Clinton, Mississippi. I have about 140 employees there. Our prime powered, which we consider it's our mobile generator, so it ranges from 25 kW to 1280 kW. And these are trailerized gen sets that can be transported anywhere in the United States for any of these areas that might be out of power. You got to think about hurricanes. You have houses, you have hospitals, nursing homes, communication towers. I mean, you lose power, everything. It's such an important thing. So, for us to be able to dispatch these units there is so important. And, we only go up to 1280. And a lot of these buildings require, 2,000 kW and above. So a cool thing about these mobile generators is we could pull two 1,000 kWs on site and connect them together, which is what we call paralleling, which can make 2,000 kW. So
I got you.
That option, man, it offers a lot of variability on any application that we might need to cater to on the mobile side. We also offer a residential line that ranges 12 kW, 20 kW, 26 kW, 30 kW, and 48 kW. And, a homeowner that might already own a residential generator, it's you walk outside every day by it and you don't really think about it, but, these is a piece of equipment and they have wear and tear items. So, every year it happens, and these guys can speak more on it. But, the power goes out, and we start getting calls on, hey, my generator didn't come on for any type of reason. And, that's why we just stress the fact that it's so important. If you haven't had a PM schedule set up on your generator, or if you, haven't had one done in the past 6 months, it's so important. Preventative maintenance, yeah. Correct. You give us a shout, and, you contact these guys. So Sudden Service Incorporated, who these guys are with,
okay.
They have about 35 locations with 100 technicians. They have 300 technicians together, but 100 of those are focused on, the power generation side. So contact them. They'll dispatch out a tech. They'll come to your house, your business, whatever site. They'll have all the parts, they need on their truck, and they'll perform the PM right there to get that generator, smooth sailing. So when the power goes out and the time does come, everything will be all good.
Okay, so explain the relationship. You run the company, you manage the company that builds these systems, right?
Yes, sir. I'm on the
And
OEM
then you
side.
sell them through dealers, authorized dealers?
We're mostly direct.
You sell direct? Okay.
Direct.
I
Yes,
want to
sir.
make sure I understand that.
We
Okay.
have a few dealer entities more in the Northwest region where we don't have brick and mortar service stores. So kind of what our direction is, we want to sell products in places that we can have brick and mortar stores,
yeah.
and our employees there to directly service and back up the product. For all those other regions, we're kind of scarce on our locations. We depend on other third party dealers or
your location,
service dealers.
Your main location is in Clinton,
yes,
right?
Sir,
in Clinton, Mississippi. So that's awesome. There was a time, it seemed to me like, Zach, that mostly organizations that had standby power were larger entities that were fixed on-site hospitals, for example, some other various places of business. But now there are lots of available systems that make sense for the residential market.
correct.
I mean, it's changed quite a bit. They're affordable.
Yes, sir.
That's what's changed. They're not as big as they used to be. You
Yes,
can
sir.
get more power out of smaller footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are sick of their power going down. I know I am when that happens. And so this is a good way to deal with that. Is that kind of what you're seeing, Kevin?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we're seeing. The most important thing about these generators is the preventative maintenance. You can go out and get a generator and you can set it there. Well, if you don't take care of it, it's not going to perform when it's called on.
Okay.
So what we like to do with our customers is set them up on a preventative maintenance agreement. It's 2 visits a year. When we set the unit 6 months later, we come out and inspect it, make sure everything's working correctly. And then 6 months later, we come out and do a PM. That's oil change, filter changes, things of that nature. And by us doing this, when it's called on, it performs. Okay. And if it doesn't perform like it's supposed to, for whatever reason, maybe it's hit by lightning, a customer has a PM agreement with us, they become a priority. So when a storm hits and we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls, obviously hospitals and nursing homes, they're priority, life safety.
Sure.
But after that, those customers that have an agreement with us have priority and they go to the top of the list.
Sure. And so as part of the PM process, would you switch the power to just test to make sure that it's switching over properly, run the electricity of the building or the facilities that are backed up?
Yes, sir. We definitely do transfer tests. We make sure everyone in the building's aware. You know, sometimes some of these buildings are very sensitive, banks and things of that nature.
Right.
So we do plan transfer switches, and we also do maintenance on transfer switches as well.
Okay.
We maintain those and make sure they're going to be working correctly.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, Zach and his team build a quality product. But we're going to be there with that product for its entire life.
Gotcha.
And I don't care what piece of equipment you put out there. If it's not properly maintained, it will not do its job for the life of that it should last.
Sure.
Our quality sells the first product, but service is what the second, the third, the fourth units are. That's how they're sold. Is these guys do a great job on supporting our product.
Yeah. It totally makes sense. And prioritizing those that are under contract makes total sense. It's what they're paying for. They're paying for their priority. They're paying for you to be there when they have an issue.
That's right. That's right. And, well, like Zach was talking about, if a storm hits this area, our local technicians are going to be slammed trying to take care of their regular customers. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of calls coming in. Well, we've got 5 different ride-in teams is what we call them. So after the storm comes in, we bring in extra technicians, extra equipment, extra people to work inside to handle the overflow of calls that are coming in, but to make sure those people that we call priority and live up to what we call our self-sudden service, this allows us to do that by bringing in extra help.
And your service location is in Richland, is that right?
For Mississippi, it's in Richland.
Okay.
But we have 35 locations across 13 states. We cover the coastline from Texas all the way down to Miami, back up to Virginia. So anywhere a hurricane's coming in that area, we have locations to take care of those guys.
Does your phone ring off the wall after a hurricane comes through?
It doesn't stop.
I think I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, you just go ahead and get you a bunch of Red Bull, and because you're going to be up for a couple of days. But it makes there's a sense of feeling good about what you do, because what we do affects a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, we just had the storm come through in New Orleans. We had a nursing home down there that they were trying to evacuate, but they couldn't evacuate everyone. You have people in there on oxygen. Those oxygen tank, they have like an 8-hour backup battery on them. So their fuel tank was underground. It took on water. So our technicians sat out there for 2 days and started off feeding that generator out of a 5-gallon bucket into a 55-gallon drum until the Army Corps of Engineers could get a generator over there.
Wow.
And I got a call from the director over there telling me that you guys saved lives here.
Yeah.
So it gives you a good feeling.
Zach, how has the technology evolved in the last few years for backup power systems?
Well, it's right now everything's, kind of directing towards, battery-powered technology, battery storage, and hybrid technology and solar panels, of course. But, what we've been discussing internally, they're talking about these hydrogen-powered gensets. And, if those get claimed as non-emissions, then I think the focus on batteries will completely go away and shift back towards hydrogen.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So we I know we're talking about generators here, but we manufactured the first container handler that lifts containers and stuff in the port of L.A. and it runs completely electric. It's crazy. But the infrastructure in California isn't there yet to charge these machines, so we're actually building fossil fuel power generators to power these electric trucks. So it's just funny, but the technology is trying. I mean, the direction is evolving, but to get the infrastructure in place to actually support that, it's going to be a few years.
Interesting. And you also handle light towers. Tell us about that. Yeah.
So we offer a 4 kW and 8 kW light tower. Can put off around 60,000 square foot of illumination. And the big selling feature about these towers, number one, they have a hydraulic mast that you could lift up with a button. A lot of your other towers are cranks. And they also run off 200 hours on one tank of diesel, which is huge. You don't have to worry about refueling these things for shorter intervals of time, which is very important for a disaster relief type environment where you got to have lights. And another very strong feature on these towers is you can auto-program the start and stop. So when the sun goes down, automatically cut on. Sun comes back up, they'll cut off. So
Makes
I like
sense.
towers are great.
Before we go, your folks that do the service, your technicians, they go through various training courses. They're certified and so forth to do all this.
Yes, sir.
Right?
We have multiple levels of training classes. The classes are held at Taylor Power, so we give our technicians a pathway to become master technicians.
Gotcha. That's important. You want to make sure somebody knows what they're doing when
That's
they're
right.
working on it, because they're complicated machines.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Appreciate you guys coming in.
Yes, sir.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck to you. Hurricane season's here. You need to call now, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us a number.
601-932-5674 or our website at taylorpowergenerators.com.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
We're
sir.
coming right back with more in the Element Wealth Studios.